Okay, so as we continue on in lesson 8.2, today we're going to find the vertex, and then we're also going to use the vertex to find the minimum or the maximum of the function. So to find the vertex of a parabola, we need an x value and we need a y value. It's an ordered pair, right? It's a point. So get the x value of the vertex by finding the axis of symmetry, which we already know how to do. Why would it be helpful to know the axis of symmetry if we're going to be trying to find the vertex?
Because it is x equals.
Okay, because it's an x equals equation, okay, definitely.
Because the axis of symmetry goes to the vertex.
Because the axis of symmetry goes through the vertex. In fact, is the vertex the only point that's on this imaginary line?
Yeah.
Yeah, the vertex is the only point that's on it. Well, if it's the point that's on it, and we found the equation of the imaginary line, this axis of symmetry, what's true about all the points on a vertical line? What do they have in common?
They're all the same.
They all have the same x value. They all have the same x value, they just have different y values. So if we find the axis of symmetry, we are saying, you know what, wherever it is crossing the x-axis, that has to be the x value for all of those points. So once we know the axis of symmetry, that will give us our x value. We're going to get the y value by substituting this x value that we get. So taking the x value, this domain value, and substituting it into the function should give us our range value, our y value. And then we write the vertex as an ordered pair. We have an x-coordinate, we have a y-coordinate. We know it is a point on our graph, on our U-shaped parabola. So it's one of the points. Okay, so we're at the top of page 534. And we are going to find the vertex of the graph of y equals x squared minus 4x minus 10. Okay, and notice there's an example above that too, so you have another example to help you out. Well, what was the first thing we're going to find again? The axis of symmetry. Okay, well, for the axis of symmetry, which of the a, b, and c values do we need? The a and the b. Okay, so let's get our a value defined and our b value defined. What's our a value? 1. And our b value? Negative 4. What is the formula again for the axis of symmetry? How's that go? X equals
b over 2 times a.
b over 2 times a. That's it?
The opposite.
The opposite of b over 2 times a. So we're going to substitute our a and our b into our formula here. We have a negative 4 for b. We have a 1 for a. So notice the opposite sign is still up front, and our b is a negative value. So x is equal to the opposite of, what's negative 4 divided by 2 times, what's 2 times 1? 2. And what's negative 4 divided by 2? Negative 2. Well, what's the opposite of negative 2? Positive 2. Okay. So we now know this is our axis of symmetry. Let's just make that note in our... So if we needed the axis of symmetry, we just found it. A vertical line crossing the x-axis at where? A vertical line crossing the x-axis at 2, 0. Okay, but every point on this line has a what? X value of 2. Every point on this line has an x value of 2. So we just now found also the x value of the vertex. So not only do we have the axis of symmetry, but we also have the x value of our vertex. Okay, well, now that we know the x value of the vertex, we're going to find the y. So find y. So we have our y equals x squared minus 4x, and how does this equation end again? Minus 10, okay. So we'll substitute our x value that we got for the vertex in to find the y value of the vertex. You do your arithmetic, I'll do mine, we'll see if we all get the same y value. What do you get for y? Negative 14, okay. So now our last step is, if we're going to say it is a vertex, it has to be an ordered pair. So we're going to say our vertex is what?
2, negative 14.
2, negative 14. Okay, tell me something about this parabola. What do you know? Besides the fact we now know the vertex, don't we? What's it going to do? What would this do? Because tomorrow we're going to be graphing, so let's just get, you know,
Open up.
it opens up. Okay, this is a parabola that opens up. We know that. Okay. We just found the vertex, right? 2, negative 14.
That's the minimum.
That's a minimum. The minimum is what?
2, negative
No. What's the minimum?
negative 14.
Negative 14. The y value of the vertex is the minimum or the maximum. This is a minimum, so we would say the minimum is negative 14. Anything else you can tell me? Well, I'm going to make you tell me. It has a domain, and it has a range. We started talking about this on Friday, I think it was, when I said, did you study domain and range? And you guys could not admit that you did. So did you commit to that finally? No. Still didn't. Okay, well, you better go back to lesson 8.1 then and see if it'll help you out. What's the domain of this function? What's the range of this function?
Oh. Domain would be R.
The domain would be all real numbers. In other words, the domain is made up of which values? No. The x values. The domain is the x values. So basically it's saying, are there any values for x that could not be plugged into our function y equals x squared minus 4x minus 10? Would there be any restrictions on the x value? Can we square negative numbers for x? Yeah, and can we take negative numbers times negative 4? Yeah, so I don't think there's any restrictions. So yes, the domain is going to be all real numbers. There's our domain, and that's our little shortcut way of saying all real numbers. And the range then is made up of our y values. So we're going to state what y values is. Are the y values all real numbers also?
No. It is y is greater than or equal to negative 14.
Yeah, it has a minimum, and that minimum is a y value, so we are going to have to say it's going to be greater than or equal to negative 14. Nothing less than negative 14 can be in the range. Nothing's going to fall below that vertex, that minimum. Okay, so we got to be able to do that also. Okay, so this is about how much we can do today. Tomorrow we'll say what else we can tell about the parabola, but for today that's pretty good. Okay, questions about finding the vertex of the parabola algebraically. So we just did, we found it algebraically. Okay, how many zeros would this one have? There is something else you can tell me. Which quadrant would this vertex be in? 2, negative 14.
Be third. Or no.
It'd be down in the fourth quadrant. And the vertex is below the x-axis, so how many zeros would it have?
2.
It would have 2 zeros, wouldn't it? That's another thing we can say about it. It has 2 zeros. You know what? We're going to say everything we possibly can. I like when I spell it. I think zeros can be spelled either way, but I like it just OS. Okay, that's 2 zeros. Okay, I think that is about everything we can say at the moment. So questions? Okay, let's go to the back then and do the other thing that we're going to do today, which is finding the vertex and then using it to help us talk about the minimum or maximum. And in this situation, we know what the x and the y are representing, so we're going to be able to say more than it's just a minimum or a maximum. So we are on bottom of page 534 now, and we are going to do the height of a small rise in a roller coaster track is modeled by f of x equals negative 7/100 x squared plus 42/100 x plus 6 37/100, where x is the horizontal distance in feet from a support pole at ground level. Horizontal distance from what would that look like? It would be a left or right? Find the greatest height of the rise. So first of all, this is a quadratic function that would open down. Why? Why would it open down?
Because this expression
It has a negative a value, right? Okay. So to find the greatest height of the rise, we're actually looking for the maximum, or in other words, which value of the vertex?
4.
The y value. Okay, so if they want us to find the greatest height of the rise, we are looking for that vertex. Its y value should tell us the highest it will go. So the first thing we're going to do is find the x value of the vertex, or in other words, find the axis of symmetry so that we can steal the x value from it. So let's write the function down here though first. So we have y equals negative 7/100 x squared plus 42/100 x plus 6 37/100. We need our a value, we need our b value. Okay. So we're going to start by doing this. We need our axis of symmetry so we can steal from it the x value of the vertex. So we can. Okay, get to work and we'll see if you and I get the same answer. Yes, you may use your calculator. You really shouldn't have to, but you know, I know some of you are kind of calculator dependent, so. I got x equals negative 3 from my axis of symmetry, thus making the x value of the vertex also negative 3. So right now, what we know is we have this point here that has an x value of negative 3, and we need its y value. So let's get to work finding our y value. So find y. What's a negative 3, not a positive 3? So substitute in for your x's into your function and use order of operations to help you get a good answer. That's not, what did I do wrong there? This should have been a positive 3. Oh, I'm so wrong. How come you guys didn't catch me?
Oh, it's the
I thought I was
opposite.
wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, I got
You
it.
were wrong too?
I forgot
When
to
I
change
divided,
that.
I forgot to make that a negative 3, and then the opposite of negative 3 is positive 3.
I just forgot to change the opposite.
Yes, I got it. Not a good mistake to make because it's going to create trouble in the end somewhere along the line here. Okay. Now I think life might be a little bit better now that. Okay, so plus these guys would be 7.63. Okay. I knew I was supposed to get an integer, not a decimal, so I was like, oh, something was wrong. So now we know that we have a parabola opening down with a vertex of 3, not negative 3. I'm going to come up here and erase this negative up here too. A positive 3, positive 7. Okay, what else does that, besides the fact that we now know our vertex, this is our vertex right here,
That would be the maximum.
what's going to be our maximum? 7. This y equals 7. We also just found our maximum there because this is a parabola opening down. So we have a maximum of 7, which I'm guessing should help us answer the question they asked. What is the greatest rise? 7 feet. So we're going to write a sentence here. The greatest rise, the greatest height of the rise, we'll say. The greatest height of the rise is 7, and we don't abbreviate feet, F-E-E-T. So not a very scary part of the roller coaster. Only 7 feet up. This is a lower portion of it. Okay, questions? Basically, the main goal here is can you find the vertex? And we knew how to find the axis of symmetry. That helps us get the x value. Once we have the x value, that's just inputting it into our function to get the output, to get the y value, and we have our vertex. And then sometimes when we know what the x and the y values are representing, then we're going to use that vertex to help us answer the question being asked. Okay? So draw pictures like we did kind of here in the notes, show the parabola, do the different things that'll help you. It won't be just a bunch of numbers, okay? So any questions or concerns? Otherwise you get to go to work on your homework. Ready? Okay, I'm assuming it means you're ready.